Thousands of structures in the city of Ashland are at risk in an earthquake.
Now, the fire department and city leaders are taking steps to protect those buildings and the people inside them. Newswatch 12's Stephen Sandberg is live in the newsroom now to explain which buildings could see the most damage in the event of an earthquake.
It's a problem Ashland city leaders say will take a lot of work to fix. When you walk around Ashland, if you know where to look, it becomes obvious how many important buildings are at risk.
When you look at the buildings downtown, if you look for this, you'll start to see this.
Hidden in plain sight.
This is what passed at the time for sort of reinforcing the structure.
Older buildings in the Rogue Valley at risk.
This is a dead giveaway to something that is an unreinforced masonry structure building.
SOU Geology professor Charles Lane took us on a walk around downtown Ashland. It's a spot full of historic brick buildings, like in the Ashland Plaza, and many of them at risk of damage in an earthquake.
By any modern standard of seismic safety, that is a completely unreinforced wall.
In the event of something like an earthquake, if there is a large seismic event, what could potentially happen to a wall like this?
A wall like this could be a fair amount of trouble. We're probably in about as dangerous a situation right here as you're liable to be. This thing just basically crumbles and just falls right down. Once you start shaking this and snapping it, violently with ground motion, I mean, this is exactly the sort of thing that would just sort of crumble into a pile.
We're not the only ones looking closely. The city of Ashland has been researching how to protect its citizens and its buildings in the event of a major earthquake.
Probably every building could use some kind of attention. Our own city hall was built in the early 1900s. I'm not sure of its exact age, but it's unreinforced masonry and concrete and would not perform well in an earthquake.
City building inspector Mike Grubbs says it's not just public buildings. Many homes built before the 1960s are more vulnerable to earthquakes. And in Ashland, it's a lot, 30%.
In Ashland, that would put the number around 3,000 homes that likely are not bolted to their foundations. The damage would be to be knocked off their foundations.
Ashland city leaders and the fire department have launched a new program called Ashland is Ready to help people prepare for the event of a large-scale disaster and keep them informed about what they can do to stay safe. Geologists say a major earthquake in the Pacific Ocean could still give a big hit to Ashland.
If you had a 6-point earthquake go off right here, then the energy would be sufficient. What, of course, the geologists are all worried about now is that a 8 or 9-point earthquake off the coast could give the same amount of energy here as what a 6-point would.
And they want to be ready for when the ground starts shaking.
I'm just extremely worried the big one's coming, and we have to be prepared, and we're working hard to become prepared, although we have a long way to go.
According to an Ashland building inspector, it would cost the average homeowner about $3,000 to $4,000 to bolt their home to its foundation. Ashland has done some seismic work on public buildings. Both fire stations were built to the current code, and Churchill Hall at SOU recently went through major seismic work. Live in the newsroom, Stephen Sandberg, Newswatch 12.